What's up guys, Jeff from Sorta Healthy here. Today I want to take all of you on a journey. Let's say you just passed your really good and useful certification course, and you're about to jump into the wonderful world of personal training. You're eager to help all those lovely clients achieve their goals, and it's really awesome that you're going to get paid some good money to do all of that. Best of all, you, this new trainer embarking on your quest, well guess what? You're going to have a flexible schedule too. No more 9 to 5 grind for you. You're going to work when you want to because you're the boss. This is your story. Well, I hate to be that guy, but who am I kidding? I am that guy. Wake up from that dream, because unfortunately being a trainer doesn't work that way, at least not really. All too often this fairy tale is what new trainers picture coming into the field, and I'm reasonably certain that since some new trainers have these lofty expectations, well, when they're not met, many newbies quit within that first year. So no more quitting, no more dreaming. I'm going to tell you how it actually is. What's the title of this video again? Oh yeah, what you need to know as a new personal trainer. Let's get to that. Real quick, if you'd be so kind, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. That support really helps us over here at Sorta Healthy, and this channel is a free resource for all fitness professionals. Thank you so much for that support, guys. On to the video. So what do you actually need to know as a new personal trainer? Well, lucky for you, I have broken that down into 5 things because I fully believe in the KISS principle: keep it simple stupid, or keep it stupid simple. I guess either one works. So my first thing that you should know as a new personal trainer is that your clients will not be like you. And when I say your clients won't be like you, I mean that on a bunch of different levels. The obvious way in which you and your clients will be different is that you will be at least a little bit more fit than the average person, all the way up to way more fit than the average person. And on the other hand, your clients will usually, not always, but usually be somewhere on this end of the spectrum. And really that should come as no surprise. If they were already fit, they probably wouldn't need to hire you. That's not to say that fit people will never work with you. Some will. But like we said, the majority of your clients will be somewhere over here. I don't want to talk about it too much because I've devoted entire videos to it already. But you almost certainly won't be able to make a consistent living training athletes, bodybuilders, or anyone else in a similar line of work. Unless you're a strength coach and get hired by a team, you won't be able to find enough clients with disposable income if you try to go this route. For better or worse, the general population or average people make the best clients. There's like 10 million times more of them, many of them will have disposable income, and most importantly, they actually want and need what you're selling. The actual bigger way in which your clients will be different compared to you is that most of them won't enjoy working out. In fact, many of them will straight up hate it. Let's be honest, if they really liked exercise, they probably wouldn't need you. We should honestly be grateful that so many people dislike exercise, but know they should do it, because that's why we have jobs. Anyways, these are the types of people who will be your best clients. They don't like to be physically active, but if you're there to plan, motivate, and guide, well, all of a sudden, working out doesn't seem so bad. That being said, clients who don't like to work out, while they will be your lifeblood, they can be tough to work with. You will often have to remind them of their goals, why they got started with you. Hell, you'll have to remind them of so many different things if you want to be successful. You'll also have to be a really good listener and very positive, even when your clients are the opposite of that. Typically, you'll also have to keep clients' workouts and programming really simple, which also differentiates you from them. These people aren't advanced. They don't need crazy workouts, they need consistency. All of this is challenging to pull off day in and day out, but it's doable. I've been at this for over 10 years and I still love it. Speaking of challenging, the second thing that new trainers need to know is that the money won't be great in the beginning. I don't want to spend too much time dwelling on this point, but I think it needs to be said. The money won't be good initially for the vast majority of personal trainers because it takes approximately 6 months to a year minimum to book up, and you'll typically only make money when you're selling training or training clients. You need recurring appointments like Susan training with you every Monday and Wednesday at 5 p.m. You need a bunch of different Susans to make a living doing this. If you have substantial income requirements, like a mortgage, a family, needy dogs like I have, then you might consider starting training part-time on the side while you have a more stable position. You could always work your standard 9 to 5 and slowly book up your training schedule around that, and then one day, if you want, you could move to full-time training without having to jump off a financial cliff. The rest of my things you should know as a new trainer build upon that last point, and next I want to discuss the fact that initially this is a sales job first and a training job second. Like we just mentioned, booking up takes time, and in the vast majority of fitness facilities, you will have to sell training packages to fill up your schedule. I'm sure many of you are intimidated by that, which is fair. I was pretty scared of sales in the beginning as well. Most of you who are scared of sales though would likely be decent, possibly even really good at them, given the right mindset and a little practice. I've got some older videos that cover sales pretty well, check them out, they still hold up, but expect some new ones soon too. When it comes to sales, long story short, having a good consultation process, some confidence, and a little bit of practice is all you need to start crushing. Sales will be harder in some locations compared to others. For instance, in my personal training studio, we have an 80 to 90% closing rate. In a typical commercial gym, that number will be way lower. The reason for that is simple. In a specialized training facility, only people who are at least somewhat interested in training will seek you out, but in a typical commercial gym, you'll still end up doing consultations with people who have no interest in personal training. If we revisit my point here, initially is a pretty key word in this statement. It's very possible, even likely, that if you stick with training long term and slowly get better at sales, and of course actually training clients, that within a year or so you'll hit the point where you have enough clients, and because of that you won't need to focus on sales quite as much. I'd say about 3 months into training my schedule looked like this, but 1.5 years into training my schedule looked like this. Way less sales, way more actual training. Retaining clients really does end up being the most important thing, and once you have a somewhat stable schedule, your life gets way easier. You know how we were dreaming of that lovely flexible schedule in the beginning of this video? The fourth thing that new trainers need to know is that the hours will be challenging at first. You can eventually work your way up to a somewhat flexible schedule, but usually that takes years. In fact, I didn't have a flexible schedule until 5+ years into training, and even many years in, I'd say typically a training job is less flexible than the average 9 to 5. There's two main reasons for this. Reason one is that personal training clients will only be able to train with you when they're not working. Reason two is most training jobs will only pay you when you're training clients or selling. So most people who choose to hire you on as a trainer will want to work with you between the hours of 5 a.m. and 9 a.m. or 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. Sure, you might get some sessions in these middle of the day hours, but most people have jobs. Therefore, this is where they have the time to do personal training. Weekend shifts are also in high demand as well. Expect to work a half a day on Saturday or Sunday at the very least. Since you'll be working some before work, after work shifts, or both, and some weekend hours in addition to that, well, yeah, you can see how this schedule can get somewhat tedious fast. You are at the mercy of your client's schedules, at least in the beginning. Their work life will mold your schedule. And when you sit down with a prospect to do a consultation, you go over their goals, etc., it's really not like you have much control over when the client deems they have the time to train with you. They have a job, family, other responsibilities. It's pretty much just luck of the draw in the beginning. You'll probably do what almost all trainers do when they're getting started. You'll train that client when it's convenient for them because you'll be doing everything you can to close the sale and then also to retain the client over time. This being said, as you progress forwards in your career, keep signing new people on, improve your skills and reputation, you can slowly mold a schedule that's more to your liking. Maybe you want to just work Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and a half day on Saturday, for instance. Maybe you want to just work mornings, but you'll do that 5 days a week. You could definitely work your way into those sorts of schedules over time. The second way in which training isn't flexible is that you'll probably only be paid when you're training clients or selling. This makes it tough to take time off work because, yeah, if you're not working, you're probably not getting paid. Now, of course, there are some exceptions to this rule. Some facilities will give you good benefits, including paid time off, but unfortunately, those jobs are few and far between in the fitness world. This is not true with the typical 9 to 5 these days. Anything above entry level in a different field will likely give you much more paid time off compared to what you'll ever get as a trainer. There's also the questions that build up in your head when you do take time off as a trainer. Things like, is this client still going to want to train with me once I get back? What if I miss an important consultation while I'm gone? If another trainer substitutes for you, what if my clients like that other trainer more than me? Now, I'm not gonna lie, if you stick with this job long term, eventually you stop asking yourself questions like that when you do take time off. Also, the job does become a bit more flexible over time as well. The myth of personal training being this super flexible job should probably die though, because in the vast majority of cases, it just isn't true. So we've been building up to this throughout this entire video. The fifth thing that new trainers should know is that your first year will be hard, and I mean really hard for the majority of beginners. That first year being so challenging does cause many trainers to give up fast. Why is it so tough though? Well, we've already covered some of the biggest reasons. 1, it takes at least 6 months to 1 year to get booked up. 2, closing sales is challenging in the beginning. And then 3, the money won't be great at first. And then on top of all of that, there's actually another challenge that I would add to this list. Unfortunately, your certification course probably did a mediocre job at best for preparing you to do this line of work. work. While the certification companies do teach you some necessary things and have actually improved a fair bit over the years, they still don't do an amazing job at getting you ready to work. Did they teach you how to properly cue a client through a squat or a bench press? Did they show you a realistic step-by-step initial consultation video? That way you can replicate the process in real life. The answer to both of those things is probably not. They were too busy yapping about SMART goals, the trans theoretical model, or mediocre periodization systems that don't work that well with actual people. So yes, some of what you learned in that course will help you, but make no mistake, you will have to learn most trainer skills on the job. This is why I always try to convince new trainers to look at that first year like an apprenticeship. You'll be lacking a bunch of skills initially, and you'll have to acquire them quickly to survive. In most cases, this is a trial by fire situation. Now, some facilities will mentor you a bit, and that can be incredibly helpful. You really want your first few training jobs to be in locations where they try to help you build your skill set. Again, you only get better at sales and training people by practicing those things. If you need more mentorship or guidance in the beginning and you're not getting it at your current job, find a new job. Also, I can't really state this enough, mindset is huge in the beginning. If you go into that first year looking at it as an apprenticeship or a learning experience, I think you'll be way better off. You'll be able to look at every success and failure that you have early on as something to grow from, and because you're framing things this way, you'll consistently get better. Guys, I know there was some doom and gloom at different points in this video, but I want it to be known that I think training can be a great career for many of you. It's not for everyone, but it's a dream job for some. I never wake up and dread going to work. I still enjoy it after all these years, and I think that speaks volumes. So hopefully all of you new trainers learned a few new things, and hopefully some of what we went over today helps to prepare you for what's coming. Stay strong and willing to learn and improve in that first year, and the rest will fall into place. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave those down below. I will respond to you. On your way out of here, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already, because that does allow me to create more free content for all of you. Thanks for watching, everyone, and until next time, stay sorta healthy.